Tweaks. This is like the exclusive content. If you're listening to this right now, it means you got exclusive content, and it means you are probably on our website, and you might be a patron. We don't do exclusive content that often. I'll be honest with you. I just don't.
It's the juiciest of the juice, though.
The juiciest. It's our personal lives.
The toastiest of the toast.
I'll tell you that. How about that? It's like usually has to do with our personal lives, and a lot of times we can't have that on the podcast. So I'm going to give you guys and Matt a second date update.
Oh man, I got to hear about that. I haven't heard about this yet, so we're all learning about it for the first time.
Oh, her name? No, I'm just kidding. I can't give you her name. I can't do any of that crap. But like, I didn't want to have this on the show. The only reason I didn't want to have this on the show is because she is a saleswoman. That's what I'll say.
Oh, okay.
Keep it at that. You know who this is now?
Yeah.
You
told me very little about her. I don't even know her name.
Because I barely know her, and I'm like, you know what?
I know the two cars she has.
Right.
And then I know what she does.
Cool. So, went on a date with this girl. She was kind of cool. Like, it was the thing where, you can tell she might be a little feisty, maybe. She even said it herself. She's like, I'm a straight up bitch. And you're like, whoa.
Got a cinnamon personality, do ya?
Yeah. Okay, wow. Let's see what this means, And she wouldn't, like... It's been a long time since I've been on a date that was actually a date, right? What I mean by that is girls these days don't... Normally, when you go on a date, they're like... Let's have fun and haha, because it's because I date younger girls. That's probably why,
Yeah, it's
younger than me. They're not. It's not a bad quality. It's just not mature. It's not like we're dating to date. It's like we're dating just to have fun. So whenever we get out and I'm like weird about it, like I might ask a question that's actually personal. Let's have a deep, meaningful conversation. No, they're not into it. Not gonna happen. Fine.
Like
She asked me a ton of questions, which is fine too. Like honestly, I'm usually the guy that's forward, so I'm cool with that. It just surprised me. That's all. Okay, great.
So you're on your heels like immediately.
I'm on my heels immediately, dude. She's like, bam, get up, bitch. That's what she's thinking, right? Whatever, dude. It went fine. It went okay. I would say that I was like thinking, I'm not like mad about it and I'm not like ecstatic about it. And like, let's see where this goes.
Yeah. You're open.
Let's see. I'm open-minded about it. Whatever. Let's see what happens. There were a few things that led me to believe that she is a feminist, but I'm not sure, right?
Okay. Give me some more info.
See
if I can make a determination here.
Okay. So then we roll around another time we're going to hang out. Not a date, though. We hung out because we ended up running into each other because here's what happened. So I'm hanging out with the guy that I used to work with, and I don't know if I can name him, honestly, but whatever. And we're hanging out at the place in Dallas. It's a pretty dope spot. We're hanging out at the truck yard, right? So she happens to meet up with us and with her friends, right? We had a good time. For the rest of the night, we were hanging out. Okay? That wasn't really a date. I wouldn't say that was a date. So we come around to... Did that light just change?
I don't think so.
Okay. Anyway.
You tripping out?
I don't know. We come around to the actual date night, right? Which was like a week and a half later. Like we haven't really... She works all the time. She's a salesman. I get it. Like we're cool. And I actually ended up having to cancel on her once because I forgot that I had to be at a wedding. So whatever. That's my fault. So this is the second date, but third time I've seen her, right? Okay, great. This is where the fun begins. Okay. So she texts me, "Hey, meet at my place 8 p.m. Does that work?" Question mark. We hadn't even talked about having a date or having a time or anything, like hanging out at all day, right? She's last minute. Fine. She told me that she's last minute, and I am too. I'm spontaneous as fuck. Like I'm like in it, whatever.
Of course, yeah.
Not as spontaneous as this chick, but hold on.
Okay.
So she had already given me some mood swings and stuff like that, which I guess women, I don't know. Maybe it was her time of the month. Whatever.
Maybe.
Iffy.
I doubt it.
Well, that's the one thing my best friend was like, maybe it was her time of the month. She's also a girl. She was like, maybe it was her time of the month, right? I was like, okay. She's like, that's like giving her the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I text her. It's like 8 p.m. Hey, have you eaten? Because I don't know. It's 8 p.m. That could go either way.
Yeah, for sure.
I was thinking, so you want to go out? That's fine, but we're going to go get drinks or get food? What are we doing, right? Don't worry, I got it all planned out. See you soon. That was her response. Oh, okay. I guess I'm along for the ride. So I go over there and I park in her apartment, right? And she's like, park, I'm going to drive. I'll meet you around the front and pick you up. I'm like, okay.
Cool.
Just, just pow, pow. I'm like, okay, damn. I'll do it. Let's go. I immediately have a screenshot of a text message, and I'm like sending it to, you know, my boy, best friend. I'm like, hey, man, this is it. And he comes up with this elaborate scheme that's happening. He's like, what's the catch? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, dude, you're weird. I was like, thank you. What? He's like, but she's still into you. He's like, there's got to be something here. I'm like, what the are you serious right
Thanks,
now?
bro. Okay, there's gotta be something wrong with
yeah,
her 'cause
I
she likes
appreciate
me?
that.
Come on.
No, but like honestly, like he's right. Like I am freaking weird, but still, I'm like, what? Because I'm like all over the place. But he's like, here's what's happening. She needs to build her network, so she's just gonna date guys and like use it to sell cars, right? He said, but hold on a second. He's like, I know this sounds douchey, but if you get in on it, I'm like,
Finder's fee.
Okay. I was like, you know what? Honestly, like, if this is her way of like getting money, let's go. Capitalism, you know, I'm all about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
I guess, right? No, it's shallow as fuck. We get to this point, and I'm like, okay, cool. So we go to eat dinner and have a few drinks, and it was nice. It was a good time, right? She took me to a place that I'd already told her that I liked this place. So she had the forethought and was actually remembering these
cool.
things and took me here. That was cool. That was a nice gesture. I was like, wow, you listened.
Uh-huh.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Because she talks a lot too, which I do too. So it's kind of like, you know, whatever. So we go to the next place.
There's no
She's
awkward
like, let's
silences
go to
at that table.
Oh, no, well, her thing is,
No
do you
doubt.
have any more questions for me? So, like,
That's what she says?
she says that, like, as if
Dude, that's part of her sales script, I guarantee you.
guaranteed. Oh, I know.
And she's just like, it's just force of habit. She's like, sorry, I know. It's just like,
force of habit. Probably is force of habit. You're
yeah.
right. She said she's bipolar, and I was like, well, if I agree, will you be mad?
You medicated,
She laughed,
though?
actually. I was like, oh, that's so you laugh at jokes. That's good. Anyway, so we go to
That's
this
good.
other place.
Since she has a sense of humor.
Dude, okay,
She listens.
stop. Yes.
She seems nice.
What's
What's
the
wrong
matter?
with you?
Yeah, what's wrong? Well, honestly, here's where it all goes downhill, and I will say this. Let me preface to anyone listening, if it's her, you know, I'm sorry, but like, it's not all on her. Like, I definitely did some things wrong. Obviously, I got super mad, and you know, whatever. But let's keep going.
God,
Let's keep going with the story. I don't normally get that mad, you know, but like,
What
I can
happened?
get worked up, right? We go to the next place. We're hanging out. And over there on the way to the next place, you know, there's a few little things that happen where, like, we're kind of not getting along, I guess. I don't know. We are both very sarcastic. And she said it herself. She said, I think we're both too similar. On the drive over there, I'm like, oh, God. You know? And when she said that, I was like, no way. You know, I literally laughed out loud and I was like, you're crazy. Right?
Uh-huh.
Now that I'm thinking back on it, I'm like, maybe she's right, honestly. But whatever. We're in the middle of like hanging out and like it's all going okay, or I thought anyway. And she asks me, she's like, do you mind if I invite someone else out?
On our date. Yeah.
Well, I guess what I thought, maybe, you know, what was this not a date, right? So I'm like, first of all, I'm like offended. I'm like, why would you ask that
Yeah.
on
That's
isn't
what
this
I
a
would
date,
be. I would
right?
be like, wait, I'm okay. What?
I was taken aback.
Yeah.
I was like,
Definitely
aside.
taken
I was
aback
like,
to say the
silence.
least.
I was like,
Yeah.
wait, well, how do I answer this? You know,
Uh-huh.
as a man, I want to say, hell no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But, like-
any self-respecting man would be like, no.
No,
No.
like,
Do you wanna just go home?
But how do I
Like-
tell? Right, but and she drove me. Remember that. But how do I tell?
Man, that's true.
But how do I tell her what to do on the second date? You don't, right? You don't really do that anyway. But there's
Okay.
no. What do you do, right? What would you in this situation? You would do that. You would just say, no, I'm out.
Is it a chick? Like, what's going down?
Okay, hold on.
No, I'm just kidding.
You would just be like, why?
I would say why. Like, I thought we were on a date, and then if she said, well, whatever, then I'd be like, no, let's just go.
Boom. Okay. So I say, wait, where's that coming from? And she's like, I don't know. He's out. He wants to come over. He.
Yeah, game over. I'd be like, we're done.
He.
Nope. You even
So
asked me that
I
question.
had already had hints of like she has a lot of guy friends and stuff, and I get that. But you know what's funny?
That's cool.
Every girl that doesn't have that's cool, yeah. But what else lingers whenever you have tons of guy friends? Nothing. You think it's cool? It's normal.
Not really.
This
I
is
mean,
good.
a girl with a lot of guy friends typically that can't get along with other girls, it's a red flag for me.
It's a red flag for you.
Yeah, for
I appreciate
sure.
you saying that because it's a red flag for almost every male that I've talked to.
It's like a guy that hangs out with a bunch of girls. It's like,
What is that? Do you want
don't
that?
have any guy friends?
right. Why don't you have any guy
Why
friends?
can't you be a dude?
Correct. She questioned why I don't have a lot of friends that are girls, honestly. And I was like, let me tell you why. Because of this right here. And literally, okay, so she's like, in this,
all your damn questions.
So when she asked that question, I'm level, I'm okay. I'm like, we're having a good time. She asked that question, I was red in the face.
Yeah,
I was like, are
I
you
would
kidding
be
me?
too.
I was so livid, dude. And honestly, like I said, I apologize because I probably should not have been that way. I need to control my emotions, right? But everything was coming out of emotion. I was like, whoa, right? Like, do you know what that means, right? I'm like, do you know that means that you're putting me in the friend zone? And I said, honestly, I'm okay with that, but you don't have to invite someone out to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I said, we can end it here because I think we're both on the fence anyway, and that's it, right?
Uh-huh.
And she's like, what, you don't have any friends that are girls? And I was like, what are you trying to say? Do you want to be my friend? Is that what you're trying to say? And then she's just like, well, why can't that happen, right? And I'm like, oh my God. This is the worst. And I was like, let me explain to you how this goes, you know? And I was just basically like, honestly, guys, listening right now, this is going to be a very big thing for you. Maybe I am sounding misogynist or whatever whenever I say it. But I told her, I'm like, I can't be friends with a lot of girls because there's not a reason to be friends with a lot of girls.
You don't have a lot in common with
girls.
females. Yeah, exactly.
Because they are women.
Exactly.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But they are women. Right? And she's like, what? That's so dumb. I'm like, no, it's not. So whenever I go on dates with girls and it ends. Like, that's it. Like, if I hit them up on social media for some random reason, like they have a picture and I like it or something, so be it. That's not what I mean by friends. I mean, like, I don't talk to them every day. I don't talk to them weekly. I don't really talk to them unless they talk to me.
You're not going to go and hang out with them.
I'm not going to go out of my way to hang out with them.
Have a couple
Why?
drinks with
And
them
then
or
I
whatever.
mentioned this, and this is where it got kind of like a bad thing for me to say. I said, if I want, like, you said you're hard to handle. I told her that because she said it herself. I said, you said you're hard to handle, right? I was like, okay, so imagine 10 other girls that are also hard to handle, and I'm friends with them.
Yeah.
What does that do for
happens
me?
when those two girls start
What does that
talking,
do for me?
You know?
It does nothing for me. It means I have 10 freaking problems in my head. Like, literally, that's what I said. I'm like, that means I have too much to worry about. Because then I care, right? I'm your friend, right? I care.
Exactly.
And I'm like, so why would I do that to myself? That's a waste of time. And that's when it did not go very well. And I apologize to all women out there. I do not think you are a waste of time, but it matters to a guy that doesn't need to have all these women in his life. That's crazy.
Yeah.
She didn't understand that. She couldn't comprehend that. And I think it's because she has a lot of guy friends. That's where I got the feminist vibe from her. I got the feminist vibe from her when she literally said, I want to be in control. Like, she said, I like to be in control. That's her words. And I was like, I looked at her, I was like, okay. Like, go on. Please explain, you know?
She just needs
She's
like a
"Well, I don't
submissive,
know, maybe not
like
all
a
the time."
small, submissive little guy.
And then she says, my best friend has a boyfriend that, you know, honestly, I need to listen to this again to make sure I didn't say any names. But I can't think right now. But my best friend has a boyfriend that stays at home and plays video games. I think that's and they have a really good relationship.
That's the kind of dude you want? You want a format?
I literally said that. I said, is that the kind of dude you're looking for? This is the first date. This happened on the first date. And she's like, I'm like, is that the kind of dude you're looking for? Well, no, I just think they have a good relationship. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna say this right now.
She said it just like that. She goes, well, no, and like the inflection went up.
Inflection
Obviously
went up.
a lie.
And obviously a lie, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, well, let me put it right here. Let me put this down right now. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I go out and do things. I'm independent, and I'm definitely not going to listen to everything you say. I straight up said that. And we still went on the second date. So where is this going?
She's like,
what do you...
She's like,
is she trying to like whip me into shape?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. She's like, what if
you know
I
what mean?
dominate the whole second date?
She dominated. She freaking made me pissed. I'll tell you that right now. So the guy comes out. I'm still there. Let's go back around, dude. Let's go back around to this, dude. Okay, so the guy. So this is gonna be juicy AF.
I would have been like,
this
Uber.
is gonna be the best freak. Okay, anyway, whatever. The guy comes out. This story, dude. So I have another story about this. It's called the Tinder train wreck. This is worse than that story. And so the two worst dates of my life.
Jeez.
This is up there. I don't know if it's the worst. Sorry.
Go back to guys.
Whatever your name is.
I'm here all night,
You're
guys.
hilarious, haha. Anyway, dude, the guy comes out, and I'm over here like, what?
That is
The
ridiculous.
heck, dude. So I'm sitting here like waiting, right? You know what I could have done? Now that I think back on it, I was so mad. I didn't even think. I was so mad. I wasn't
Yeah,
even thinking about
you're
it. Get an
fuming.
Uber. Get an Uber.
That's what I was saying.
Get an
I
Uber
was
and
just
peace
like,
out.
I'm
Like,
out.
what was I doing, right? I'm thinking like, how did I end up in this position? That's what I'm thinking. You know, and it's funny because I brought it up and I was like, this is terrible. This is like the worst way to do this. And she's like, she still didn't understand it, but I think she actually did understand it. I think she knew exactly what she was doing, in my opinion,
Yeah,
because
for
she's
sure.
in sales.
She probably, yeah, exactly.
She did this on purpose.
Yeah.
But I'm like, why didn't you just tell me? We're not doing this anymore. You know what I mean? Maybe because she didn't want to force me to get an Uber or tell me to get an Uber.
Yeah.
And she was driving me.
I wonder how many of those
You know?
guy friends drive. What kind of cars they drive? I'll just say that.
Well, this dude also drove a nice car. Nice car. He lived like right a block away. Oh, by the way, he was in the area. He lives a block away. So I'm thinking, okay, well, she invited him out,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
man, what a shitty
What
situation.
a class act.
Class act indeed, man.
So what happens after the guy shows up
Okay.
in his fancy car?
I didn't see his car. I just know he drives one.
Oh, okay.
He showed up in like a freaking. Honestly, he looked badass. I'm not gonna lie to you. He looks like a badass dude. Like honestly, maybe a beta male a little bit, but like he looks like a badass, right? And I gotta give it to the guy. And he is apparently in. Does this give away too much? You think?
Who cares?
No, they don't know. They don't know location or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
He was in medical sales,
In Arkansas.
right?
Sure.
Medical sales is like a badass gig if
Yeah.
you're good at it.
Yeah.
You can like make some money. He's obviously making freaking money doing it. I'll tell you that right now. Apparently they went to high school together. So I'm like, I don't know. I didn't know what to think in that moment, right? And so looking back on it, yeah, maybe I handled it like poorly. I didn't say what I wanted to exactly right, you know, because I was so freaking mad. But like, could it have gone any better? I don't know. I don't think so. You know what I mean?
She could have said, "Hey, I think we should just be friends."
You know what, dude? Thank you for
One
saying that.
damn sentence.
She could have
Like a
just said
freaking
it,
adult.
and I would have been like, okay, I don't really do that, but I understand. I'm cool. Like,
Yeah.
boom, done, right? Because like,
Hit me up. You got any other?
because
friends?
whenever I said what I said, and she wanted to lead the conversation into why can't you have girls that are friends?
Yeah.
Like if we see each other around, you're not going to talk to me. That's what she like said, and I'm like, this is already going that
That's
way.
not- yeah, I was
why
like,
didn't you
that's
just
not what I
say
said.
like oh man. Holy crap. So the reason I brought this up was because I was going to lead that conversation, that thing, into our podcast because she had very feminist like tendencies in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's the first girl I've ever dated like that.
Huh.
The last girl I dated was like very independent, but that's different.
Yeah.
She would still hear me out and listen, right? This girl I don't think really would. It was interesting. And then when she said we were alike, I was like, we're alike because you're trying to be a man.
Huh.
And you know how freaking I don't want to sound like a dick when I'm
Did
talking
she
like
get
this,
red,
dude.
though?
You know?
Did you actually say that?
No,
you were
she
trying
laughed.
To be like a man?
She left
Oh.
twice during me like fuming. I'm like talking to her like, hey, I think that this, and this. Why the heck? You know how I get. Like I am right now. I get very intense. And
Yeah.
I told her, hey, look, sometimes I get intense. Sometimes I'm like worked up, whatever, right? Because you bring up a topic that I really am heated about. Or
Yeah.
I'm really passionate about.
Yeah.
I'm a passionate guy in general.
Exactly, yeah.
So when I'm passionate, I'm talking
You're not
to her.
boring.
Thank you. I appreciate that. When I'm passionate and I'm talking to her, she like literally like was trying to hold it. She's like, I'm sorry, I have to laugh. And I'm like, you?
I do that.
freaking-
Okay, in her defense, I do the nervous
I
laugh.
know,
Like if
I
someone's
know.
yelling at me, I sometimes will start laughing.
And I wasn't necessarily yelling, but honestly, I can't tell my own voice sometimes. She already said I was a loud person, so I get it, right?
Yeah.
The reason that I liked this girl is because she was very straightforward, and that is my thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm into that. I'm so into that. Like when you can say you're freaking loud,
But the
I'll say,
second date was like not
"Yeah,
straightforward at all.
You're right. Yeah. Correct. The
Yeah.
car ride over from we had honestly, dinner was awesome, freaking amazing, good vibes all around. We were just vibing. It was good. It was good. Mm-hmm. We hit the car ride, and I guess everything changed. Not sure, you know. But at that moment is where if I was in her shoes, I would have said, you know what? I'm not feeling it. Let's just go home. Or I'm not feeling it. I'm just gonna drop you off.
Yeah.
And then if I dropped me off, I would have then been like, I still feel like going out. If I felt like going out, I would have just kept going.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. Blah, blah. You just like avoid. You know what I mean? Like, And then if you say, I don't feel like doing this anymore and like drop you off, that's still kind of avoiding it. But that's like the girl's way. That's what I would probably like. Honestly, that's probably what would have happened. She could have obviously done it, straightforward and said, "This isn't working. We're both too similar. Let's be friends." And I would have said, "Okay,
Let's
cool."
not. And then,
Yeah, I would have either just said, "Okay, cool," and just pieced and not ever really talked to her, or I would have said, "I don't think so," but I understand, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And there's the second date update from Sky. And honestly, dude, that is like, woo, that was juicy.
That's a
Holy crap.
eventful date. And
Dude, you're telling me. Honestly, I'm kind of
really
glad it
sour
happened
ending.
because it was insane. It was insane, dude. Everything was just
well,
like.
now you have now like
God,
when you have like a you go on a date and this girl's really nice and cool and you're having a good time, but then like it starts raining and then you both get muddy because a car splashes on you or something like from a puddle, and she's like, "Oh, this has got to be the worst date you've ever had."
Oh,
She's all
mate.
cute. She's like, you should be like, "Girl, I got a good story for us right now. Let me tell you about this date."
Bro, yeah,
Then
for
she'll
real.
be like, "Okay, I feel so much better. Let's
yeah.
make out."
You will never compare. Like, for those of you that don't know, we have exclusive content